and 4. The battle is on. It's going to be too close to go side by side. Huang Do gets it. Oh, we got contact. We got flips. We got big wrecks here. Going back to the front because we're racing back to the line.
William Page with the victory.
Looking for second here.
Musa's gonna.
Oh, he's gonna use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're gonna be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's gonna be a drag race to the line. Musa gets it.
Tom Musa, where did he come from?
Boyer trying to close the gap. He's gonna get to the bumper. Oh, just barely did not make it. And coming off of turn 4, Jeff Sikenis is gonna win it at Dover.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Kentucky Speedway for tonight's feature presentation of the United States Online Racing League Red Bull Cup Series, Race 6, Race 3 of the round of 10 of the Season 7 Playoffs. As always, I'm your host, JoeTowNetwork. Joining me up in the booth tonight, it's again a little cramped up here. We got Tommy Bordeaux.
Howdy.
And Ricky Collette.
Hey there, Joe. Glad to be back here in Kentucky after joining you earlier in the week there for Bomb Squad. We're back in a different Kentucky.
I was going to say the place looks a lot different. Turn 1 and 2 is completely different. It's repaved. It's going to be a crazy night of racing action here on JTN. That's why you better strap in for this one, folks. Again, I mentioned it. Race number 3 of the round of 10, Tommy. Tonight we're going to be, sadly, eliminating 2 more drivers out of our playoff contenders.
Yeah, we're going to say goodbye to 2 drivers right now. The 2 in the cut area are the 15 of Jeff Dixon and the 42 of William Page. Look for them to try and push hard. William Page could point his way in, same with Jeff Dixon, so it's not all said and done. It's not necessarily a must-win for either of them, but you certainly can't afford a bad night. Your season's going to come to an end, if so.
Well, and you can lump Noah Joyce into that as well. He's tied with Jeff Dixon coming into tonight. They're right there on that edge. I mean, and what happens if William Page wins too? Then it's gonna put a guy like Cal Laval. He's gonna need to have a good night, Ricky. I mean, there's so much drama around this cut line tonight at Kentucky.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of drama the entire night too. I don't think it's going to let up. Going back a few weeks to our last cut line, remember that the official cut line for that last spot there for the 10th spot was 1 point. A 1 point difference. So these guys walking in here tied tonight, we might not see that number move around a whole ton. It's really going to be a game of inches. Not a lot of cars here tonight either. About 14, 15 cars here this evening. So any points you gain on the track are going to be absolutely crucial to getting ahead of your competitors here. Between those 3 people all tied right on the line there.
And based on...
definitely expect to see some guys stay out maybe and try and lead a lap to get that extra bonus point. Might throw a wrench in their strategy for later in the race, but in a situation where every point matters, expect to see some risks being taken.
And based on the field tonight, we can almost confirm that the 54 Huang Do will advance to the next round. And Zach Krastowski right there at plus 14. He's got to be a safe bet as well. Cam Barnes. Those 5 on the left of your standings graphic should be looking pretty after tonight's race. Just have to make sure that they finish tonight's race. Tommy, but speaking of tonight's race, we just had qualifying end a few moments ago. Why don't you take us through tonight's starting lineup?
Sure thing, Joe. A pair of Chevrolet teammates make up the front row. It was Jeff Dixon on pole for tonight's race. He set a blistering pace of 28.727 seconds ahead of Trey Coleman, last week's winner at Richmond, 0.2 faster than his teammate. So Jeff Dixon already showing some good short-run pace in this race tonight. Back in row number 2, Huang Do and Noah Joyce. Cam Barnes and Darren Ingram make up row number 3. More chase guys right there. Playoff guys, put another quarter in the jar. Back further in row number 4, the 12 of Cal Lovell. I believe this is a home race for Cal, so a lot riding on this one, not just to make the next round of the Playoffs, but also to put on a good show for his local fans. And to his outside is the one car of Zach Kostowski, Mr. Consistency himself. No top 5s this year, guys, but 20 top 10s. An incredible stat. Back in row 5 now, Sean Whitehill and Davey Hazard. Hazard has locked himself into the next round by virtue of points, so just expect that 75 car to maybe try a couple things, see what they can learn going forward. Behind them, William Page. He can point his way in, but it's going to take a lot. And Garrett Sidno right now above that cut line by 10 points. John Peterson and Antonio Ruiz will make out the rest of this field tonight. And Joe, we got a pretty condensed field, but a lot of action here at Kentucky. A lot of different lines these drivers can take. Ricky, talk about that, the different grooves available here at a track like Kentucky.
Yeah, well, we saw a little bit of it on a Tuesday here, Tommy, that at Kentucky, it's a little unconventional getting around here. It's such a flat racing surface. Generally, common sense says you go around the bottom there to get a fast lap, but sometimes 3 and 4 especially, you can kind of venture up a little bit. It's going to kind of congregate to one line or the other, but you can kind of explore around. The important thing is just getting that center off the turn and getting that big run down the straightaway here. So it's really going to be about entry. You can enter up high, you can enter in the middle, you can enter down low, but you're just trying to kind of arc the turn as efficiently as possible to get a great run here. It's not going to be completely conventional side-by-side 3 wide all the way through the field, but it definitely allows for some experimentation, some guys kind of trying some different stuff, and just trying to figure out where they can get an advantage on the competitors.
Well, it sounds like a science experiment is in store for us tonight here at the Kentucky Speedway. That means you're going to want to stay in your seats, folks. Make sure you hit that like button on the video and subscribe to us here at JTN on YouTube. You hit that little bell icon as well next to the subscribe button. You'll get notified anytime we go live. Have a full slate of races for the upcoming week leading up to the biggest weekend in motorsports this upcoming, not tomorrow, but this upcoming Sunday. Tommy, I'm going to turn my attention to you because you're a guy that likes to talk about these historic events and these big time moments that aren't that are natural, right? You're very stuck in the artificial versus natural debate. How do you see tonight's race playing
stuck,
off? No,
but,
you're firmly planted in the.
Sure.
Yeah. Stuck. Synonyms, Tommy. Synonyms. Cinnamon, Tommy. Synonym. Golly gee. But here in the Kentucky Bluegrass, are we going to see those gimmicks that might make this race go haywire throughout tonight?
Well, like I mentioned previously, you get a bonus point for leading a lap, and that's all fair and good. I mean, I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal tonight. Although, you look at a guy like Jeff Dixon and William Page, 2 guys that have won races this season. They've always shown that they've had a lot of speed, and they could be on the cusp of not even having a chance to compete for the championship. That's one of those things, Joe, that, it's interesting about the playoffs. And if I can relate that to real life a little bit, a guy like Denny Hamlin maybe having an extremely championship caliber season like he is thus far, but it means nothing, Joe. And so while this is a little bit different than real life and the way teams can ebb and flow throughout the season, I don't know that it's going to be such a big factor tonight. At least for the guys that make it on to the round of 8. For those guys that go home, we could see some surprises, and I'm sure they're not going to be very happy to be on the outside looking in.
Well, and what does it say, Ricky? I mean, those are 2 guys that if we, we're moving on after last week, those would be 2 guys that have multiple wins on the season of only, 5 drivers, 6 drivers have multiple wins? What would that say for the rest of the competitors that, hey, guys with multiple wins are already out of this? That's less bonus points that I have to worry about making up in the round of 8.
It is kind of a little bit of a relief because you don't have to worry about those bonus points. That being said, I think it kind of lights a fire into some of these guys that if people like that are dropping out of this cut line, then it could happen to anyone. That you really need to stay on it here and just take advantage of any kind of slip up. So I think you're going to see a lot of that if we see that kind of unfold here this evening. A lot of guys in the point situation kind of going full speed ahead if they can get an advantage on some guys that end up dropping out with some additional bonus points in the bank that they're not going to be able to use.
Remember, folks, we're in happy hour right now, getting ready to go green flag racing in a few minutes here, so don't click that search bar. Watch on check. There's our pole sitter finally, Jeff Dixon in the 15. Tommy, you've alluded to it. You've flat out said it. But hunting those bonus points tonight for this 15 team, they're starting on the pole, so you'd have to think they're gonna get that lap led early on in the race. Do they continue to attack those bonus points, attack that finishing position as we see them go for a spin in turn 2?
Well, that's something to think about here, Joe, because that 15, we talk about it every week, but the speed that team has every week is definitely championship caliber, top of the field running. They're often towards the front of the field, but we still haven't really seen him put together as many full races as we would think we would have. Now, that being said, last week he was something out of his control, an internet drop that forced him to finish poorer than he would have otherwise, but nevertheless, that 15 team, I think they've got a good shot to at least pick up one bonus point in leading a lap, and well, we see him tied on the cut line with Noah Joyce. So, I mean, that one would provisionally put him up, even if they finished in the same place, which, well, you can't really do. But in theory, they have a good shot if they can at least hold on to that lead to also get that extra bonus point for leading the most laps.
And if you're a guy like Cal Laval or Garrett Sidner, that you're coming into tonight, you're feeling good, right? You got a decent gap on the bubble, but things can change in a hurry here. Are you playing the conservative game? Are you coming down pit road every time, take 4 tires, make sure you're good if we get a long green flag run, Ricky? I mean, what is the strategy like for those guys that are they're not locked in on points, but they're oh so close to it? Uh-oh, Ricky might have his mic muted.
Oh, sorry, I did have my mic muted. Thanks for calling me on that. I hit it and it didn't unmute. But yes, if you're in a situation where you're close but you're not necessarily locked in, I think these guys played safe tonight. I think they just take the conservative call on strategy, fuel mileage. You're just trying to get a good finish here just to make sure that you get through. But the last thing you want to do here is get too ahead of yourself and jeopardize that opportunity to make it into the next round. It's like racing on the racetrack. You got to race you don't want to race the guys around you. You want to run your own race there, and the point spread's kind of the same thing. You don't want to be trying to catch up to people or make up time or really worry about the guys behind you. You just want to make sure that you are focusing on whatever you need to do to maximize points tonight, because that's ultimately all that's going to matter at the end.
Fellas, we're just about ready to wrap up happy hour here. I'm not going to do any picks. We're not going to do that and give them the commentator's curse. But one to watch this evening, and it's going to be very interesting to see how his race unfolds, is that 3-car of Noah Joyce. Very fast at Kentucky. Earlier in the week at the Lights race, almost won that race. We know he has a lot of speed here. Qualified 4th for this event tonight. On that cut line, every point's going to matter for him. It's going to be whether or not he can put together a full race tonight. And I think he's going to be a great storyline to watch tonight, because that 3-car has got a lot of speed, but they're also right on the edge of that round of 8.
Right on the edge of the round of 8. Drivers being called to their cars, getting staged on the back straightaway, boys. We're about to go racing here at Kentucky. We're not racing horses here, but we got a lot of horsepower. I mean, my goodness, what could you say? What a night to be in the Bluegrass State. We'll see this track start out in the heat of the day. It's going to stay hot throughout the night, 79 degrees. A little bit of a wind from the west, but stay hot throughout the night. We might see that track temperature come down a little bit, though, as the sun goes down. Field again, staging on the back straightaway, getting ready to go. Ricky, oh man, this is going to be a fun night. Tommy, you're going to bring the action tonight. I'm so excited, folks. Make sure you hit that like button. We're already up to 10 likes. Keep it on coming. Be a friend, tell a friend. We're about to go live racing at Kentucky. There's the command.
Start your engine!
Yeah, that was the regional marketing manager for Kentucky Fried Chicken giving that call.
Yeah, it was Colonel Sanders himself.
Oh, that's right. One of his distant relatives. 4th cousin twice removed. But boy, he dressed up in that white suit and looks just like him. You wouldn't know a thing. All right, well, Jefferson on the pole for tonight's race with Trey Coleman to his outside. Chevy's out front, a Chevy in fourth. A lot of Chevys in this field tonight doing well up towards the front of the field, not so like the Indy qualifying earlier today.
You had to throw that dig in there at those boys, but field makes their way off a turn 4 to get this one going here from Kentucky. Jeff Dixon with control takes them into the start zone, waits for the flag, and there it is, green flag from Kentucky.
There we go. Look at that field. Already still pretty tight, but that outside line didn't get a great start behind Trey Coleman through turn 1. Real treacherous zone here. Jeff Dixon loose a little bit as he hit the apron. That allows Ray Tustin to get to his inside.
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful here on these cold tires first few laps. Kentucky's a high-speed track, but it's a flat track. You need a lot of that handling here. You want the car to be loose, so got to be very careful here on these first laps. Kind of walking on eggshells a little bit.
Hongdo on the inside of Jeff Dixon, still battling for the lead through the tri-oval. Give lap 1 to Dixon. He gets that oh-so-crucial bonus point on lap number 1. Joe, though, all over the TV panel going down into 1 and 2.
Dixon right on the bottom of the racetrack. It's very, very touchy the way these cars are set up to begin these runs, and like Ricky mentioned, how cold tires can be an issue. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of guys get loose in that danger zone of turn 1 and 2, especially with how everybody kind of fans out as they restart. So that's going to be a danger zone, but right now looks like everybody's got it under control. We're single file here, but don't let that confuse you. I mean, this is still close racing up front.
Close racing up front. See a little bit of warp there from the 7. 49 John Peterson coming off of pit road. So he's having issues with that Chevrolet.
Got a little bit of connection issue, looks like on the 49. Came out and then came back in, but it looks like they're rolling again, so it'll be a lap down. Peterson, good time to have that happen because he could very easily get back on the lead lap. Looking up front here, Cam Barnes at 7, getting to the inside of Huang Do, coming into turn 1. We'll see if Cam's got the predominant line here. Looks like he's got just enough to make it on by that 54, and Huang Do will fall right in line behind him.
Barnes up to second. The Quaker State car in the Quaker State race moving on up. So he gets by Huang Do. Now further on back. Oh, Joe loose through the center. They're gonna split him. I don't know how we managed not to have a bigger one there.
That was incredible driving by all those drivers to get around him. And a great day by Huang. Hey, I can tell you, I was in this lights race on Monday. That is not an easy thing to do for any of those drivers to avoid a wreck there. Really, really impressive driving, heads-up driving by everybody in the field tonight.
And talk about this track specifically, because Ricky and I, we saw a race at Kentucky earlier this week with the old configuration where the corners are a little more similar. This version of Kentucky, those corners are completely different. What does that mean setup-wise?
Oh, guys, sorry, not to cut you off here, Tommy. William Page spun out in turn 1 a few laps ago. Nose first into the wall, rolling around on track right now. William Page in that 42 car having a lot of issues right now.
Already huge implications as far as the playoffs are concerned. Remember, he's a good number of points out to begin with, and he needed a strong night, but it looks like possibly some damage and already going to go a lap down early as these leaders have almost caught up to the back of him. At this point, he's starting to be in frame.
Well, folks,
yeah, I apologize for not catching on that. He spun by himself. Rules dictate that that's not a caution since there was no contact. So Page just kind of spun around there right behind the field and no one saw it.
Well, I mean, we like to think we're better than Fox, but maybe not. Joyce and Coleman going on by here at 42 of Page. He's in the wall a little bit. Didn't race last week, didn't have a provisional to give, and now, well, someone's going to have to give him a lucky break. He's around again.
Oh, no, and that's going to take Huang Do with him into the outside wall, and that's going to be a caution.
Or is it?
Is it?
It is not. We stay green.
Stay green. But you can see that 42 car, guys, they knew they needed a big night tonight, possibly just went a little bit too far on the setup, making it too loose, and compounding that with some early damage. The 42 team in dire straits early on. Still a long way to go, but it's not looking good for William Page.
Yeah, and it looks like what happened there with the 54 Huang Do was that when Do got off the gas there to avoid William Page, like I said, these cars very loose, very kind of walking on eggshells a little bit. The car spun around by himself. So by USORL rules, that's not a caution since there was no contact between either one that facilitated that or anything after that. It was just two guys spinning in the exact same position.
Big time loose moment there. Cal Laval, Noah Joyce gets back by him in turns 3 and 4. I am all just stumbling words. John Whitehill now, another two hometown track drivers battling back there for the...
Oh, Davey Hazard's around in the tri-oval. Zach Krastowski just gets on by him.
That's
Didn't have a lot of practice time before this race. Didn't really need to. Obviously locked into the next round on points, but that 75 team, depending on what they do here, looks like they're off the racetrack.
Oh, goodness. Davey Hazard shifted into first gear coming out of turn 4.
oh no.
But looking at the telemetry there, you can see him downshift and the whole car spun around. I think it blew the motor, but here comes Jeff Dixon to the inside, John Peterson lapping that car. But my goodness, they're 11 laps into this.
With Davey Hazard out, that's going to mean there's 13 cars left in this race, and I know it may just be one car, but as we said, every point's going to matter, and possibly this will affect how the playoffs happen and how they play out the points picture. Now, this essentially locks Huangdo in at this point, guys, so that 54 car, despite the poor start, should be locked into the next round.
There's a lot of disappointed Davey Hazard fans walking out of the grandstands already. Only 13 laps into this one. Got the brand new merch from the JTN hauler, and they're already leaving, Tommy.
Yeah, quite unfortunate, but hey, it looks awfully good. And if you want to pick up some Davey Hazard merch of your own, go visit the JTN store. What do you say, Joe?
Hey, it's pinned at the top of the chat, so go check it out now on the JTN merch store. Don't have an ad set up for it just yet, but it looks super cool, so go check it out. Well, hey, Ricky, Sean Whitehill just made a pass for the 4th position. He slides on up in front of Noah Joyce coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, Sean Whitehill running strong here, making a big statement. He's not in the playoffs anymore, according to the jar. But he's got a fast car here tonight.
Oh, no!
Sean Whitehill's around in turn 4.
Oh, no!
And he is back rolling. Zach Krastowski gets on volume, but now Whitehill doesn't look like he has a ton of damage. I actually think that's fixable, what happened there, but he's going to need a caution, and a few of these guys are going to need a caution. He's going to need a caution. Huangdo's going to need one to get those fenders pulled back out. William Page is definitely going to need one. William Page's car is hurt right now, and I think it needs to come down pit road for repairs. But a lot of things happening here.
Second, heating up here. Trey Coleman to the inside of Cam Barnes, looking to get back to where he started. And Jeff Dixon's loving this because this is allowing him to extend that lead a little bit for that 15 team. And boy, if they could win tonight and really lock themselves into the next round, that'd be exactly what they need. Guys, we're only 14 laps into this thing. We're on lap 15 of 134. There's so much time left in this race, and we've already seen a lot of action.
Well, folks, that's why you got to be a friend, tell a friend. We're live here on JTN from the Kentucky Speedway. I'm Joe Towinski. I was Tommy Bordeaux previously talking, and Ricky Collette also joining us up here in the booth. We're live at you here on JTN pretty much every day this week. So make sure you're subscribed. You don't miss a single moment of all the racing action. Jeff Dixon right now loving what he's seeing behind him as he's pulling away from Trey Coleman there in second.
Ron Whitehill back on pit road. Looks like the 2-car lost a tire and got into the wall. And down on pit road, so that's going to put him a few laps down. Right now, Joe, that means there's only 9 cars on the lead lap.
Oh my goodness. A chaotic start.
Very chaotic. But right now, we've been having a good little battle here with Darren Ingram, Garrett Sidner, and Cal Lovell. Kind of just been going at each other for the past bunch of laps here for that 4th position. Looks like Darren Ingram's got the lead right now of that grouping. But Sidner, not letting him go. Kind of keeps getting a few good runs on him, getting back side by side with him every now and then.
23 car, Darren Ingram already advanced.
Antonio Ruiz is around.
Front stretch too. Don't come back up. Oh man, good job keeping it low like that. Like I was going to say, that 23 car already advanced to the next round by virtue of a win. So they're in good spirits. We talked to them last week, just trying out some things. But I'll tell you what, guys, it's a little bit of a panic time for that 42 team of William Page. There might be a lot of race left, but Joe, already 2 laps down, and given the number of cars that are already multiple laps down in front of him, that's a problem.
He's coming to pit road here, blowing it on up, but I don't know. This is...
I think that tire wear is getting to him, though. Just got a report on pit road from Sean Whitehill saying, blew right front tire after spinning, F. Which means that...
Fail.
I think the tire wear, after to pay respects, I think that means the tire wear here is pretty bad in terms of when you spin it. So I would imagine William Page, Antonio Ruiz just came down, too. These guys, when they spin the vehicle, that's not just spinning, that's they're absolutely frying those tires when they do that.
On
And
loss.
a bad night gets worse for William Page. He's going to fall even more laps down at this point, and he's going to really have a hole to dig himself out of now. That 42 team looked like they were going to be very strong and possibly a championship contender, but things have gone sour in a very quick way here in Kentucky.
We had such high hopes for the William Page retirement tour. Maybe he just won't hang that helmet up just yet. Might want to go out on top. What has kind of gotten lost in this shuffle, though, is the fall of Noah Joyce in this 3-car. He's all the way back, and I say all the way, back to the 8th position right now. What's wrong with that 3, Tommy?
Like that 3-car didn't really have the long run speed that they were hoping to have. I mean, the short run speed, the qualifying trim was very good. They were really happy with their car. Like I mentioned on Monday night, had a very strong car. Looks like they just have some work to do on that. You know, track conditions might have changed. It's Monday night. The grip might be a little bit different, so they're going to have to work on that 3-car and hopefully get back up there. Now, with William Page having a lot of problems, that's a good sign for Noah Joyce. But with Jeff Dixon currently in the lead and locking himself in that 3-car, things are really tense. They would be out of it right now.
Oh no, and not to trample all over you guys, but Zach Krastowski had a moment 2 laps ago, backed into the turn 4 wall in the 8th position. That's a Playoofs driver, coin in the jar, and then he just fell out.
Oh, no.
So Krastowski having a lot of trouble here. Trying to see if he's going to come back in the picture, but I still don't see him anywhere on the
Page
track.
hard the wall once again. Sorry, Ricky, but he is, I think that might be it for the 42.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, Zach Krastowski looks like he fell out of the server, so he will have to be at least 1 lap down by the time he gets back onto the racetrack. Remember, that's the same kind of issue we saw with Jeff Dixon last week. And Zach Krastowski, with as consistent as he has been, he's also had a little bit of issues to start the beginning of these races. Always seems to find his way back up to the top 10 by the end. But even more problems there, as you see for William Page. The side of the car is all torn up.
Both sides now destroyed on that 42. Oh my!
This is a lot more of a race of attrition than I thought it was going to be here, Joe. And Tommy, this is like, my goodness. And the 11 of Antonio Ruiz is back around in turn 4, noses it into the outside wall. He is sitting on the racing surface.
Next car coming,
right
Sean Whitehill. Ruiz gonna get out of the way, and he's gonna hit the wall again.
He's got to hold it up there. Huang Do's coming by. Now he's on pit road. Huang Do's coming to pit road now. 24 laps into this. You got to think if the tires are wearing that quick, then we're going to start seeing pit stops soonish.
Soonish?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are hearing 2 to 3 seconds of fall off over the course of a run, so. And Trey Coleman saves it down in 1 and 2. There's just something happens every lap here in Kentucky. I don't know what's happening.
Hey, Coleman, that is hurting him bad. Garrett Sidner's in the wall. Coleman, that's going to fry
He's
those
going to come to pit road.
He's slow, but I don't think he's not going to use the access road, obviously.
Puts his hand out the window. He's coming to pit road, so new tires for that 8-car. And meanwhile, Jeff Dixon doesn't look like he's had any issues so far yet.
Yeah, Jeff Dixon has really just been kind of on cruise control out here, but I don't want to jinx him. I'm afraid what's going to happen. The second place car just almost spun it. You don't really know what's going to happen on this track. Noah Joyce is in the wall, and he has a flat tire.
Oh, no.
Oh, and that's huge implications for that team.
They're down in turns 1 and 2 right now, so he's got to still go, pretty much all the way around this racetrack on 3 wheels, and oh my goodness.
It just looks like Joyce blew the right front tire. He never spun.
Oh my goodness.
That was just 27 laps on that tire as well, guys. I mean, that's not really that long at all, certainly compared to how much fuel is in these cars. So I'm really shocked right here. It didn't seem like this would be an issue, tires this much that were at the point of blowing them on these runs. This race is unfolding chaotically.
Got Laval, the first of our top 5 to come down pit road willingly.
We have to get Bristol to go down the Goodyear trailer and get a comment from them because there's so many tire failures tonight here. And right now, everyone's kind of looking a little more. It's a wide spread right now, people around this track. But man, what a battle of attrition here. We thought it was the track, now it's the tires, and now it's just when it rains, it pours here in Kentucky. And Jeff Dixon is completely unfazed by it. This Exalted car, those flames are doing it justice right now because that thing is flying. It is cooking out here.
He is singing that song, Rain is a Good Thing right now, because if it's raining on everyone else, well, the sun is shining on this 15 Exalted Coating Systems Chevrolet for Jeff Dixon. Gotta think this 15 is going to be coming to pit road in a lap or so. Again, about 31 laps on a tank of fuel.
Well, Joyce coming off pit road. He's in the 8th spot.
Just got some word from the Davey Hazard camp. Y'all remember the Xfinity race today where Daniel Hemrick had a bunch of shifter issues?
Yeah.
Well, that also plagued Davey Hazard here tonight. He's got a shifter that he had and unfortunately got disconnected with his knee working it loose on the cable. And what happened? And the car shifted down into first gear and the engine blew. So unfortunate for Davey Hazard, but man, equipment trouble for that PTR 75 team. Not something you usually see. Although tonight, an early exit because of a faulty shifter.
And we'll have to get confirmation from him there because Cam Barnes around at the end of pit road. That's going to be illegal pitting. He'll have to come back down.
And that's in second place. That's a second place car, Joe.
Jeff Dixon's going to win this race by 5 laps at this rate.
Oh, the 49 John Peterson's in the outside wall. We'll see. Can't make it to pit road, so now he's going to have to make all around track. Peterson blew a tire.
My goodness. We'll have to get confirmation
on pit road.
We'll have to get confirmation from the 75. Was working with the next gen experimental, stick shift sequential shifter. So don't know if that's maybe what the 75 had tonight, or if maybe they were still using the traditional Tommy. But maybe trying some of those things out, knowing that he's locked into the next round.
Yeah, definitely. You get to experiment a little bit, but I'll tell you right now, 3 cars on this lead lap. I think it's going to go down to just 2 as Jeff Dixon comes to pit road for the first time tonight.
Oh my goodness. What a race so far, and we're not even halfway in this one here from Kentucky, live on JTN. Of course, this is the USORL Red Bull Cup Series. Sean Whitehill around. He's in front of the field, car swerving. No caution.
Boy, we stay green. I mean, the way these guys are spread out now, at this point, it's going to take something kind of special if these guys are going to get a caution for an incident like that because of the room around with everybody. Boy, the back end of that 2 car, it's smushed in.
The boys back at the body shop at Team Twansky ain't going to be happy after that with that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joe, if you want to bring the points picture back up onto the screen, you look at that 15 car, you think that's probably, unless, things have to still go right for him, that being said, but he's in a great position now. It looks like he's going to be able to move himself on in the next round if he can hang on for the next 100 laps. And it seems like nobody else has except for him. With the 42 of William Page having problems, it doesn't look likely that he's going to make his way back up into that top 8. So that puts Noah Joyce out. I mean, things are really intense. Everybody having problems. It's hard to get a read on who's in, who's out. But one thing's for sure, Jeff Dixon doing exactly what he needed to do tonight.
Exactly what he needed to do tonight. But again, like you said, knock on wood, it's still, the cows have not come home yet here at Kentucky for the 15 team of Dixon. We know they've had those transponder issues throughout the year. They've been dominant. They were dominant at Iowa and then had the race slip through their fingers late. So anything can happen here in the USORL, but Dixon has gotten back to the lead as things have cycled out a little loose there through 1 and 2.
Looking through here right now, looks like everything's kind of cycled out. Zach Rostowski now in the 2nd spot. I think when Zach fell out there, those fresh tires kind of fell into his hands. A good position to have those fresh tires come in. I don't think he'll probably have to pit a lot earlier than most of these guys, but it paid off for him because when he spun, he would have probably fried the tires trying to get back to pit road. It just immediately fixed most of the issue for him. He's still gonna have to get that rear end pulled out, but I don't think that's something he can do under green flag pit stops. He's gonna have to wait on a caution to do that.
At least
if we get one.
Yeah.
If we get one.
Tommy, do you want to handle chat?
Their chat's going crazy. Magnoni 13. Wild card driver in that lineup. I'll tell you what, every car out here on the track's a wild card tonight. You never really know what you're going to see coming out of each turn. Jeff Dixon's been able to keep it pretty straight all night, but everybody else, you never know. I mean, these cars are all over the place. It's almost like these guys are wrestling inside the car. They're not so much driving, but they're wrestling. They're fighting the car. You know, they're going head to head with their machine and trying to navigate this racetrack, one of the most difficult places on the whole circuit due to its flat corners and different banking in each end of the track. I mean, wow, I'll tell you what, they've got a lot on their plate tonight. It is quite the wild card.
And of course, you don't mean professional wrestling as in the case of the WWE where, you know, we know what's going to, certain people know what will happen and, you know, it's a TV show.
At this point.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy here.
This is like the equivalent of shooting a bow up into the air and just sort of standing there to see where it lands. Figure out what's going to happen with this race. What now? One thing that shouldn't be glazed over is Cal Loval in that 12 car. Actually passed Trey Coleman, got past some of these guys on that whole cycle. He's sitting in third spot here, tracking down Zach Rostowski, who again's on slightly older rubber. So Loval's doing pretty good right now in that 12 machine. Keeping it clean, keeping it clear. Haven't seen a spin
my
yet.
goodness.
William Page just spun off a turn 2.
Oh, no.
William Page, who is right now 6 laps down. This might be the one that breaks the camel's back. No, he's still rolling.
Hey, he's a trooper there in that 42, let me tell you.
He's a trooper indeed. But that thing's just been evil all night. I've been watching him almost spin it in turn 3 and 4 quite a few times the last few runs.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting some Ken Alexander flashbacks with the way the race has gone for the 42. I'm a bit surprised, you know, Joe, last week we talked about the possibility that 42 could be a contender to win here at Kentucky, but it's looked like anything but tonight. It's unfortunate for a team that was just trying to make it to the next round, knew they had their work cut out for them tonight, but unfortunately, somebody must have measured wrong before making the cut.
That's why you measure twice, Tommy. That's why you measure twice, cut once. But when that 42, when we came in, you know, after the end of last week, and we were talking in our post-race production meetings, we talked about how that 42 was going to be aggressive, right? We talked about how he was going to have to do something. He had to win. 10 points is pretty much a gap you can't make up without winning. And they swung for the fences, but sometimes when you swing for the fences, you hit a pop fly. And, well, it seems like that 42 hit the pop fly to the infield tonight.
Yeah, and that might as well just be a straight-up strikeout at that point. I mean, nothing good's happened for him tonight.
We have lost Zach Rostowski again.
Oh, no. I think we've lost...
Justice Internet, by the way.
My apologies. I mean, that sounds so morbid, but he is off track again. William Page is out of the circuit. William Page retired from the race.
Yeah.
42 is officially tagged out of this one. Very unfortunate, but it looks like he will not make it to the next round in the playoffs. And Zach Rostowski is now reconnecting. Hopefully
he gets checked and released from our infield care center sponsored by TWB. At TWB Medical, let me tell you, that TWB Medical team are some of the best here in all of sim racing, but...
Well, I don't mean to brag, but yeah, I got a lot of bright minds over there.
Just a couple.
Darren Ingram's moving through these guys right now. He's running times, not necessarily in line with Jeff Dixon, but a lot faster than the guys in the second and fourth here. Aaron Ingram now sizing up the 12 car, going to the inside. Cal's going to be in a bad spot here. This is where we're seeing all these guys spin out on this high line here in 3 and 4, and you see really slowing up. It's going to let Trey Coleman get a big run down the front straightaway here and get to the inside of him.
Well, we know that's the Chevy Alliance, right? Those Chevys work really well together. IPA made the switch midway through the season from Toyota to Chevrolet. It seemed to pay off for the 23 team, and Ingram a little bit more so even than some of his IPA teammates. But folks, we have a bunch of great racing coming up for you here on JTN this week. Monday night, we'll be back with Excel Racing from the Pocono Race of Champions short track with the modifieds, 8:40 p.m. Eastern time there. Hobo Racing Cup Series action returns to you from the Texas Motor Speedway, 8:55 on Tuesday. Wednesday, it's the All-Star, hold on, Wednesday, it's the All-Star Racing Cup Series at Texas as well, 8:55 p.m. Eastern time there. Then Thursday, Bomb Squad Cup Series action from Charlotte. No USORL race next weekend in observance.
Dan Barnes is around in 8th. I'm sorry, Joe.
Oh, my goodness. There he is. He gets back going. Not going to let him ruin this read. I'm not going to let him ruin this read. Bomb Squad Cup action from Charlotte this upcoming Thursday, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, and then Bomb Squad on June the 3rd. So we got about a week off here on JTN to kind of regroup after this mad dash through the end of the month of May. But Cam Barnes, a heavy hit down there in turns 3 and 4. Ricky, what'd you see?
Yeah, he just lost it and didn't actually hit the wall. Just did a 360 there, sat on the track. He might hit the wall gently, but it's put him in a bad spot here because Jeff Dixon's now coming up on him and Huang Do, who's trying to race Barnes for position. So Dixon's going to have to kind of navigate some of this traffic. That might put him out of the preferred line here. He's really going to try to put the pressure on
contact!
Huang Do,
No!
and that's going to collect. Oh, no one, but that's going to be caution.
Caution is out for the first time tonight.
No! And there are a lot of boos raining down here at Kentucky.
Oh, man. When's the last time you saw an Exalted car get beer cans thrown at him?
I'd never, actually.
Oh, you're right. It was DuPont. But
Wasn't it Pepsi?
It's... Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Let's go back and watch this.
See Dixon just really aggressive there on the back bumper, makes contact with the left rear quarter, Tommy, and F54 team. You see a bunch of angry faces down there on pit road.
Boy, yeah, they were running pretty good to start this race, and then ran into that little loose condition that almost resulted in a wreck very early on, going 3 wide and 3 and 4. But well, that's not too good. I know Huang and Jeff are friends, but that wasn't a really friendly bit of contact there.
And you know what it almost looks like is that I'm almost wondering if Dixon, because Huang Do was about to go a lap down there, so Huang Do's he's not necessarily doing anything wrong there, trying to stay on the lead lap, race for a position. But I'm wondering if Dixon, because we've seen how treacherous that Highline is, I'm wondering if Dixon was trying to kind of time it where he was going to slip under the 54 coming off the turn, and maybe Do was just a little lower than he thought. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, those guys got together. I think Huang Do's got something easily fixable there, and if they don't, Jeff Dixon looking like 15 teams going to claim that incident. So Jeff Dixon probably won't be in the lead, I think, when we get going here. But I think Huang Do, we'll see what the scoring says, because Do was technically on the lead lap when that incident happened. Then he got passed. I don't think you can say that he was... I guess it depends on where the scoring is on whether they decide that he should be on the lead lap or not. But
yeah, I know
obviously he wasn't the cause of that.
There's some discussion within the USORL officials right now on who will get that lucky dog. Hey, in the meantime, checked and released from the TWB Care Center. It's unfortunate that we see him so early tonight and not the result they wanted for sure, but William Page, welcome to the booth. Sorry that your race didn't turn out how it wanted to. Walk us through that 42 car, which seemed like an awful lot of a handful tonight.
It was a little devil out there on track, I'll tell you that. There was a few times the controls were just, I don't know. You couldn't really get a good feel for the car, but I mean, overall, I can't be mad or sad about the whole situation. It is what it is. So you gotta look at it. And am I contractually obligated to show up anymore? I don't know. I gotta ask John about that. But I'll definitely show up to some more races after this. But yeah, it just cookie didn't crumble the right way for us, and how it happened. Also, it's partially my fault for not showing up last week, but that is what it is.
Well, the cookie may not have crumbled your way, but you've certainly baked a fantastic career here in online racing on NR 2003, and we wish you the best going forward with your future endeavors, whether they be in racing or otherwise. It's unfortunate to see you out this early tonight. We definitely wanted to see you at least have a shot at it, but boy, before you leave us here, anyone you want to shout out in the booth tonight?
My family. Luch, Jacob, just anyone that's supported me doing this over the years. It really comes down to that. And I mean, even guys over at Fast, Randall, you, Tommy, and plenty of others, Joe, Ricky, I mean, everyone pretty much.
I thought I was
ever
getting
since
forgotten.
the beginning. Yeah, no, I was not gonna forget. Yeah, Tommy was the first one I said. But yeah, just pretty much everyone in general, just over the years. It's been a long time coming, and I just need to finally move on and do something else. And it's annoying putting this wheel up every week.
Gonna retire to build some generators. So hopefully you're generating a lot of energy and money. So Will, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us after such a disappointing night. And congratulations on your retirement. The rocking chair is in the mail.
Hey, I can't wait to assembly required. I'm sure, right?
It'll probably just be a picture of a rocking chair. Honestly, we don't have that kind of budget here at JTN.
Dang it. Okay, well, I'll guess I'll just have to fork over the money for a real rocking chair then.
Yeah,
I'll go get one at Cracker Barrel.
It'll be an NFT, so you know.
Oh, sick.
101, Will. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us.
Yep, y'all have a good rest of the broadcast.
And make sure you tune in. William Page, driver number 42. Will Chevrolet.
Right now, guys, looks like they're going to be choosing this time by.
Thought they were choosing last time.
Here they come, they're choosing.
They're choosing!
Darren Ingram really is the guy that's cashing out here, that 23 discount tire Chevy. With the 15 having to claim that caution, that puts Ingram in the catbird seat here. So
Could be an interesting start for sure. Can't speak. Darren Ingram, Trey Coleman, row 1. Cal Laval, Garrett Sidner, Sean Whitehill, Cam Barnes, Wong Do, Noah Joyce, Jeff Dixon, John Peterson, Antonio Ruiz. That's how we're lined up here on the restart. Down into the Micro restart zone we go, and back away. Green flag once again from Kentucky.
Well, another driver who liked this is Noah Joyce, of course. He's pretty much on that line now with Jeff Dixon to see who makes it into the next round. Of course, Jeff Dixon leading all those laps early on has the advantage in bonus points right now, but that 3 car getting the lucky dog, getting back on the lead lap, that's going to help him out quite a bit. Meanwhile, Trey Coleman now to the lead on the outside.
And that 8 car is really strong on the short runs, Ricky, and we're seeing that already, but we saw... Oh, no, it's Sean Whitehill.
Man, all I need to do tonight is yell.
Apparently. We stay green.
Looks like Whitehill spins by himself, so we stay green here. But yeah, looking through the field here, Trey Coleman now our leader. Garrett Sidner's going to follow him. Darren's dropped 2 spots. And you see Huang Do there back in this picture in the 7th spot. Looks like scoring. Actually, no, he's still in the 8th spot. So Zach Krastowski is on track still, right? Or is he back off track?
Looks like under that caution sequence, he fell out again. So while he is still in the race and connected back in, a lot of trouble for that 1 car early on here, trying to get connected and back on the track. Hey, how about Garrett Sidner? We really haven't talked about him all night long, and here he is, right on the tail of Trey Coleman now in that 16 car.
Yeah, watch out. Because Sidner actually almost spun a few times on that last run, got the wall a few times, he gets the inside Trey Coleman. Looks like they put some good adjustments into that car, definitely doing what he wants to, but just keep an eye on if that car gets a little too stanky around here, because I'm sure he doesn't want to spin that thing out again from the lead.
Can you just...
No, and you mentioned that Monday night looked like Garrett had it in the bag, but spun all by himself at a turn 4 at the lights race on Monday from the lead with just a couple of laps to go. Ended up finishing deep into the top 10. So, yeah, that 16 team, while they have a fast piece, maybe a little bit unstable for them.
Cam Barnes back on pit road. It rains at Porsche for that 7 team. He's back down here. 1 lap down already. This is going to put him 2 laps down at least.
And a new analogy we must find here at Kentucky already. Not even halfway in this one, folks.
I keep saying it.
Jeff Dixon. Don't look now, Tommy. Jeff Dixon, he's making his way back to the front.
I can't help but look, because that 15 car, I feel like, has been on my screen all night long with how fast it's been and where they've been all night running up towards the front. He may have already started this time in the back of the field, but he's found his way towards the front awfully quick. It's going to be hard to beat that 15 team, especially on the long run. They seem to not get loose at all or tight. They seem to have a really stable race car.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed so far, but it seems like these guys, they're starting to hit that apron going through the corners, especially down in turns 1 and 2, Ricky. Why do you think that is as the run goes on, that they try to cut it lower and lower?
I think it's the car's probably just getting tight. We've seen how much the tires are getting fried here. It's probably a condition where as the car gets tight, you're just putting so much wheel into it that when the car finally starts to lighten up, it just snaps loose. So anything to help kind of let the car rotate naturally is what you want to do. So they're probably trying to angle that turn to get as close to that paint as possible, get whatever grip they can get down there. I think they're just kind of slapping the apron a little bit. But man, look at Jeff Dixon powering on by Darren Ingram on the high side here, hanging with him. That's not necessarily a preferred line out here, what he's doing, and he's holding side by side with Ingram, and he's going to pull ahead of him here in turn 2.
No, but if you can kind of, keep that guy down on that low line and don't give him a great exit off the corner, you can get a good run on the straightaway, and that's exactly what Jeff Dixon did on Darren Ingram right there. Use that momentum to carry him through 1 and 2, and now the 15 car's got his sight set on Garrett Sidnor, trying to catch that 16 car, get back to the lead to where he's been for pretty much the whole night until now.
Dixon hunting down Sidner. Sidner again looking for his first win on the year at 16, trying to stay out front. He's going to have to put some evasive defensive maneuvers on here in just a second because that 15, he is coming for his lead.
Jeff Dixon smells blood, and he's going for the attack. Look to the inside of Garrett Sidner a little bit there. I think that's the other thing you've seen these guys do, too, trying to get down that paint. Is I think they're just trying anything they can do to get that nose in some clean air while they're catching up on the guy in front of them. Just to get a little bit of an advantage. But you see Garrett Sidner right down on that paint, trying to close it, bounces off it. That's going to let Jeff Dixon get to the inside. They're going to be side by side coming down the back straightaway here.
Side by side, down the back, down into 3. Dixon with the preferred line. He scoots on by for the lead.
He wiggles!
Sidner trying to cross him up here off of turn 4. He's on the bottom. He'll have the preferred line down into 1 and 2, but Dixon can make that outside work at this end of the racetrack, Tommy.
Yeah, and almost a little bit of a pack forming. Darren Ingram with this side-by-side racing in front of him, able to kind of work his way back up there. Dixon on the high side. He's got great momentum off the turn. He's going to clear Garrett Sidner and take the lead. Here comes the 7-car Cam Barnes now. He spun, he had to pit, and now he's causing problems for Darren Ingram right there because he's trying to make his way back up through the field. He's 3 laps down at this point, just trying to make it 2 laps down. Not a good night so far for that 7 team, and they are pretty safe on
They'll
points,
be good.
but Joe, I mean, we'll see.
He'll be good.
Be good.
13
Just
points to the
barely
good.
Squeezes by. No, he's loose though. Those tires are fresh, but man, he's throwing it pretty hard trying to get that lap back here.
He had a fresh coat of paint on that 7 Quaker State Motorcraft Ford Mustang for Spencer Racing tonight. A lot of these guys have fresh coats of paint every week, though.
They do.
They sure
love
do.
to see it.
Yeah, I think that 7 car is all but locked in at this point with the number of cars left, and I think he should be okay at this point. But Sean Whitehill letting the leaders fly low there.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to get out of the way as quick as possible. But man, we got a battle here between Darren Ingram and Garrett Sidner. Sidner's kind of hanging on this high line, but Ingram really making it work on the low line there, and everyone's kind of log jammed behind him.
Yeah, I don't think that high line's really where you want to be to run the fastest laps you possibly can, because I remember from Monday night I got stuck out there and lost a lot of spots. Ingram able to slide in front of Sidnor, and Sidnor able to keep it in front of Cal Lovell for now. And that 12 car, we've seen him have some good speed, but hasn't really shown up towards the front of the field too often tonight. But nevertheless, in a good position now. One of those guys that was also kind of close to that cut line, but running well so far.
Zach Krastowski just spun for the 7th spot in turn 4. He's off the he's trying to get back under control again, but didn't restore to a lot of these guys. Just spun it coming off of turn 4.
I didn't think Kentucky was a track that had a nickname with the word tricky in it, but I think it should after tonight.
The tricky tri-oval, I guess.
Coin it. That's it for now on.
Now, Tommy, let me ask you something. The lights race, was there any indication of this during the lights race that the surface was going to be this kind of treacherous for these guys, or was this kind of a surprise to everyone?
We saw a lot of problems on the short run, Ricky, and we knew cars were going to be loose to start a run on cold tires, but we really didn't get this long of a run at any point in the race. So this is kind of moving into uncharted territory, especially that first long run where we saw green flag pit stops. So these guys didn't really have enough time to know what their cars were going to react like 30, 40 laps into a run. So, yeah, certainly a lot of trouble going on for these drivers tonight. Kind of testing out some uncharted territory.
Well, and speaking of trouble, folks, one thing that you'll never have trouble with is getting all your die cast at our friends at Circle with Diecast. Make sure you use code JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $20 or more. Diecast hats, t-shirts, they got all those racing goodies for you at circlewithdiecast.com. Linked in the description. Again, use code JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $28 or more. Sorry, I had to get that plug in there, Tommy. I saw.
That was wonderful.
I saw my opportunity.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what. Also, you might notice a lack of some drivers in the field tonight. One of them is Austin Spencer, but I would like to congratulate him last night for winning the ARCA race at Fulton, the dirt track at Fulton. So congratulations to him. That's his first ARCA win in quite a while. So congratulations goes out to Austin, and we hope to see him in a broadcast sooner than later. And that 13 car once again.
You gotta love those ARCA cars, man.
Oh, I sure do. You know me, Joe.
Jeff Dixon continuing to put a Martin Truex-esque whipping on the field here tonight at Kentucky. Heck out to I don't know, how many second lead? 6, 7, 8, something. Probably more than that. Not a good judge. Let's see.
Well, what if I told you 2?
Well, it feels like a lot more.
It sure does, and you got to think about that for Noah Joyce, too. I mean, he's running in 6th place. He's not doing bad, but with Jeff Dixon in the lead, that's not where he wants to be right now. He needs more spots like this. He can't afford to finish behind this 15 car, especially if he wins. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm Noah Joyce right now, I'm biting my nails a little bit. Got another retirement. Zach Krastowski in the 1 car. Joe, that should end the top 10 streak.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
Unfortunate there.
No. I just wanted one more top 10, you know? So now Cal Laval should be able to take sole possession of most top 10s on the year, because he came into tonight tied with Zach and tied with Davey, and both those guys out of the race outside of the top 10.
Joe, if you want to put the points graphic back up again, we can show the fans at home the points situation going into this race. It's a little bit different now. Zach should still be just fine on points. He had a lot of points coming in above the cut line, and given the number of cars left in this race, he should be just fine to move on to the next round. But things are really going to be tight for that cut line still, especially with Jeff Dixon in the lead right now, and certainly going to get the most laps led at least. That extra bonus point means Noah Joyce is going to have to find his way a bunch of spots ahead of Cal Laval and Garrett Sidnor. I mean, he needs something, Joe. At this point, it's starting to look like that 3 car is going to need a miracle.
And what a shame. Our Daytona winner has had such a strong season, and that's just how this format works, right, Ricky? All these guys are just so good. They're at the top of their game all season long. And
White Hill's back around turn 4. Sorry to yell, Joe. But, White Hill.
A hard hit
Really
there.
There's nothing left to knock off the rear end of that tire discounter's Ford, but...
Oh.
Man, you can still see the JTN logo on the deck lid, so I guess it's preserved. Something at least got preserved there.
Kind of. It's a little smush. It's a little warpy.
But yes, it's a tough situation with the points. You kind of got to live by the sword, die by the sword here. That it just shows how close these guys are all racing each other. That so many of these guys are just sort of coming in and showing up when they need to show up, and it's hard to kind of have rough races. But unfortunately, I guess that's sort of the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
I hate it when my cookies crumble, Tommy.
I like squishy ones.
Oh, me too. I absolutely agree.
No, I still want them hard. I just don't want them to crumble, you know? Engineer a better cookie.
Now, right now, it looks like Jeff Dixon's still the fastest car on track. Or one of the faster cars on track, I should say. At least on the lead lap here, too. But one thing we're taking notice on is that this is going to kind of start getting... He's going to start having a wrench thrown in his plans here as he's tracking down Cam Barnes in terms of what Cam decides to do, because the 7 car has fresher tires. The 7 car is 2 laps down, but the idea is I don't think he wants to go back 3 laps down. He's really fighting to stay on the lead lap. Honestly, right now he needs a caution to sort of get bunched back up with the field. Cal Laval's going to pit road from 4th, so important note there that we might start seeing some pit stops here soon. Garrett Sidner is also down, but what does Jeff do? Does he stay behind the 7 and just sort of roll around behind him? He's not getting a ton of challenge from Darren Ingram right now. Or does he try racing the 7? Because I don't think Cal's really going to give him that spot.
Well, if I'm Jeff Dixon, I'm really not going to push the issue here. At this point, with how many cars are multiple laps down, I mean, really, he could probably put this thing in third gear and still advance to the next round. Maybe not by winning, but by virtue of points, because he is running ahead of Noah Joyce, and he's going to get the bonus points for leading a lap and the most laps at this point, over halfway through the race here. So, although, just as I say that, there he goes looking to the outside of that 7 car. He's not listening to me. It looks like he wants to get around him.
Oh, White Hill's back around to turn 4.
Yeah, I think that 2 car might be coming to pit road for the last time tonight.
Boy, they're really close here.
Oh, I don't think Cam Barge is going to give the spot. I think Barge is like, I need to stay on the slap. This is for just second lap. This is just for 2 laps down, mind you. This is how much these guys are fighting here. But I don't think Cam Barge wants to concede it. Trey Coleman from second just coming down pit road. So no Joyce down, Darren Ingram down. So a lot of these guys starting to come down here. And Jeff Dixon getting really loose trying to get to pit road, and he's going to make it. I think he's at speed.
Hey.
It was awfully close at the line. We'll have to see. I mean, that could throw a huge wrench into the things that might be the miracle that Noah Joyce needed. He really pushed it into pit road right there. So that 15 car trying to get everything he can. We'll have to watch and see if perhaps he'll have to come back through and serve a speeding penalty. Otherwise, that 15 car is in good shape as of now.
Could it throw some spaghetti into the plan instead of a wrench?
You could throw whatever you want into it. If you're throwing things into the plan, then in theory that's going to mess up the plan. So you could say anything. Throw some spaghetti in it. A little bit bologna.
A little bit of ragu.
A little bit of gabagool. But right now, it looks like Huang Do is going to assume the lead in that 54 car. Now, mind you, he was a lap down, so I think he still needs to pit.
Yep. And what a great livery on that 54 Toyota tonight. Our TWB Charlotte sponsored trip. Tommy, tell us about it.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a week off from the USORL Red Bull Cup Series next week because we're having a group meetup in Charlotte for this USORL group. A bunch of drivers going to get together and watch the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup races this weekend together. Should be a whole lot of fun. A week of activities planned, visiting race shops, and the all-important for bragging rights race at GoPro Motorplex. So, boy, I'll tell you what, we might have some stories about that. But either way, great paint scheme there by Ray Tustin on Huang Do's car for the TWB USORL Charlotte Takeover.
And that's a fan favorite right there in that 54, so get a lot of support drummed up for that trip. Well, Jeff Dixon looks like he's okay. It's like no crime was committed.
No indication that he was speeding at all, so 15 car got it woed down in time, and he still came out in the lead after pit cycles played out.
That could be good for Dixon here, because that means he could sort of just put on the afterburners, get away here. Right now, Garrett Sinner actually running just a smidgen faster than him. We'll see if that stays true. They are running very close lap times to each other, all within, few thousandths of a second. So that 16 car starting to hook up out here on those fresh tires.
Hey.
Only over a second back, not too far back. I mean, he knocks out a couple good laps that he gains a couple tenths on. He's right back into this picture, and we could see someone challenge Jeff Dixon for really the first time tonight.
And what a night that would be for Sidner in this number 16 for games 1, 2, 3 racing. To get that victory, lock himself, get him into the next round, get himself some bonus points because they are lacking that sorely. And again, as these rounds move on, Ricky, you need those bonus points.
Yeah, you really need those bonus points. We talked about it at the start of the show. Is that we talked about at the start of the show, is that anything that you can kind of use for bonus points here, you want to take advantage of tonight. You really want to do anything you can to try to leapfrog some of these guys, capitalize on everything this evening. And right now, these guys trying to do that out here, but it's hard when Jeff Dixon's so dang fast. But Garrett Sidner's hanging with him in terms of lap times. That 16 car's really starting to hook up. And right behind both of them, Darren Ingram in the 23 actually faster than both of them by about a full tenth of a second.
Things are closing up, Tommy. What are you, if you're behind the wheel at 16 or the 23, what's your mindset right now?
Well, given the way we've seen these drivers deal with tire wear this race, I am a little bit concerned for them that they're not going to have the tire to compete with Jeff Dixon once they get up there. That lap, actually, Garrett Sidner falling back a little bit there. Darren Ingram catching up to that 16. It looks like he's now the fastest car on the racetrack, like you said, Ricky. So possibly Darren Ingram can get by Garrett and try and catch Jeff Dixon, but I do think by the time they get there, they just might have used up all their tires and they're not going to be able to get past.
Right now, this time by, Darren Ingram is still fastest car on the track by a full 10th over our leader. So Darren Ingram, that 23, I think these guys are starting to figure something out with these pit road adjustments, finally starting to kind of get within the wheelhouse of the 15 car. I think one thing Jeff Dixon, I've noticed the entire night, is that Jeff Dixon, we were talking about it, really very stable vehicle here. And I think that's really helped him being kind of ahead of the curve compared to a lot of these guys who have been fighting handling woes all evening. But right now, I think they're starting to kind of get back in touch with him because, again, Garrett Sidner and Darren Ingram both running faster than Dixon that time by.
Yeah, and those two that you mentioned right there, Ricky, I mean, they're one of a couple drivers that we really haven't seen have handling issues tonight. So something to do with a stable setup here tonight that's really paying off for these guys. Ingram looking low, trying to get past Sidner. He's side by side on the front straightaway. He's got a nose under him. We'll see if he can make the move into one.
Sidner trying to hold tough on the outside. He just lets Darren go on by, trying to cross him over through the center of the corner. Big time push there for the 16. Ingram takes over the second position, and he'll set his sights on that 15 of Jeff Dixon.
Yeah, now Darren Ingram's just gonna have to hit his marks here, and make sure that he's not he just keeps doing what he's doing out here because he's got a fast piece, but can he reel in Jeff Dixon? Is the differential? It's been like bits and bits every single time by. Obviously, he was a bit slower that time by because they were racing side by side, but now he's got clear racetrack. He's got everything he needs to track down this 15. Is he going to be able to pull it off in the amount of time we got left here tonight?
What would you say, Tommy? I mean, now he's got some clean air on the nose, or at least a little bit cleaner. I know you hate that word, but I think we all do, clean versus dirty air. But now he's got nothing out in front of him. Does that help his cause when he was already running faster behind the 16?
Well, we'll see, Joe. I mean, look, we still have a whole set of pit stops left, most likely, so time can be gained on pit road yet. Will he be able to gain that 2-second gap now to Jeff Dixon? It's possible. So that 23 team has really got to worry about their tires, though. I mean, that's something that's really going to affect them, like I said. Yes, they have the clean air. Yes, that helps them now that they're around Sidner, who is holding them up just a little bit. But now you really have to see, did you save enough stuff to catch up to Dixon? And right now, the gap 0.2 slower that time by Darren Ingram compared to Jeff Dixon. So I think Dixon at this point has got the better tires, running the faster laps, and is in a pretty comfortable position.
Wanted to shine a special light on the paint scheme livery on this 49 of John Peterson tonight. The Break the Stigma Mental Health Awareness number 49 Chevrolet for IPA. And folks, May be the biggest month in motorsports. However, May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. Know that you are not alone, and all of us at JTN encourage you to reach out to loved ones if you or someone you know has been struggling. It is okay to not be okay. For more information and resources, check out NAMI.org. Again, that's NAMI.org. Be part of the change, break the stigma, and know that you are not alone this May, this Mental Health Awareness Month. Great paint scheme on that 49 tonight.
Sure is, and he's right now running in the top 10. So John Peterson taking advantage of some other cars' issues tonight to get up into the top 10 in that 49. Well, Joe, with Jeff Dixon leading the way he has and getting all those bonus points, the field shrinking. Now Sean Whitehill retiring, so just 10 cars left in this race. So, well, I'll tell you what, pretty much the whole field at this point locked in. There's still the question of Jeff Dixon and Noah Joyce. It would take Jeff Dixon to probably blown engine or something of that sort for him to lose at this point and to not make it to the round of 8. So no choice right now. Not really much he can do behind his own wheel. He's just got to be hoping something happens to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff hoping Murphy's Law does not apply tonight here at Kentucky. Man, oh man, just dominance from this 15 once again here in one of these flyover states. Is that fair to Kentucky? Would you consider it a flyover state?
They got good
Depends when you're flying. If you're flying from like the northeast to the southeast, I guess you are. But I wouldn't group it in with things like Iowa and Kansas.
Okay. Okay. You knew where I was going, and then you decided to try to take me on a different road.
Yeah, Jeff Dixon out here is still in the sub 29 second lap times, which a lot of these guys on track on old rubber are not doing. So I think what that car's really doing for him is over the long run here, it doesn't really lose speed like a lot of these guys have been dealing with this evening.
This is what the people...
Completing lap 100, it's Jeff Dixon still in the lead, and like you mentioned, Ricky, setting great times, consistently in the 29s, while everyone else is really in that low to mid-30 range. So, I mean, a couple tenths a lap added up over a bunch of laps that he's been in the lead and in clean air, and all of a sudden you have a 4.5 second gap to second place.
And I just got a report from the 2 pit box that they made an audible that they were on the verge of spinning again, so they parked it. The back end damage was just too much, so tagging out there just to make sure that these guys can keep going with their race and that there weren't going to be a hazard on track. So very heads up move by the 2 team with Sean Whitehill. Very unfortunate that's how it ended, but they're going to walk away with an 11th, so that's not too bad of a time to retire.
Hey, that's what Bristol preaches at Team Towansky, let me tell you. As our competition director, you just don't get in anyone else's way. Don't make a bad name for us here at the team.
Yo, don't you think that's a little bit of a conflict of interest?
Well, you know. I mean, we may have, you know, JTM may sell some race car merch that might resemble the 2 cars Sean Whitehill that you can now buy on the JTN merch store that, you know, again, may resemble the number 2 JTN Ford Mustang of Sean Whitehill for Team Twansky. But I don't think that's a conflict of interest. Again, JTN race car merch available now on the JTN merch store. It's linked, it's pinned at the top of the live chat. Not a conflict of interest, though, Ricky. Not a conflict of interest at all. Also, we got new driver merch for Davey and Mikey up on the JTN merch store. Tell us in chat who you think should be next. Who would you pick, Tommy, if you had to pick a guy? Get some new merch on the JTN merch store.
Well, you know, you have the Mike Morata stuff up there. But you know, we've talked about it. I might make a little bit of an alteration to it. I think I want to see Michael's face on it. I would get it. And Michael knows this, but he refuses, and so
called out on a live broadcast. Michael Morata, driver number 55, Napa Toyota.
But in honesty, some Ryan Pace statistician merch might be interesting, at least to see a concept of.
Yeah,
he's got the trends, he's got the numbers, he's got the data, he's got the fuel savings.
Hey,
it's Ryan Pace.
He's not America's crew chief, but let me tell you, he's a pretty dang good one.
He's the internet's crew chief.
That is perfect. All right, writing that one down in my notes. I was about to say that's the only noteworthy thing tonight, but that would not be fair to the dominance that Jeff Dixon has shown tonight.
Not only just to that, but also Dave Blaney and his historic win tonight in the World of Outlaws. His first World of Outlaws win since October 21st, 1997. That's some 23 and a half years ago. Joe, I know you and I weren't even alive the last time Dave Blaney won a World of Outlaws race.
Father of Ryan, of course, if you didn't know. There's a lot of Ryan Blaney
congratulations to Dave.
Congratulations to Dave Blaney. That was Sharon Speedway. I believe that's his home track, too.
It was. I mean, what a great place to win again after 23 and a half years.
Hey, I'm coming home. Tell the world that I'm coming home.
Coming home. And some cars are coming to pit road, including Garrett Sidnor. These should be the last pit stops of the race, provided we go green to the end. So the 16 car getting some fresh tires, trying to short pit, maybe get some kind of advantage, make up a little bit of time. But right now, with a almost 7-second lead for Jeff Dixon, it's hard to imagine anybody making up that amount of time on pit road unless something went horribly wrong for the 15 team.
Yeah, Laval now coming to pit road in that 12. A beautiful Chase Briscoe-esque paint scheme on that car tonight. No doubt probably painted by the one, the only Dan Asher.
It sure was.
Hey, look at that. But check out, it's Asher Designs or Dan Asher Designs.
Daniel Asher Racing Designs, I believe, on Twitter.
Okay, go check him out. Shout out.
Yeah, that.
Make sure, be a friend, tell a friend. Share the stream. Let's get up to 20 likes if we could before the end of the broadcast. That would be awesome. So if you haven't already hit that like button, please, I urge you to do so. Make sure you're subscribed as well. I believe we're like 2-3 subscribers away from 600.
We are 3.
I mean, we're so close, guys. Just 3 subscribers. That's all I'm asking for.
And Ryan Pace,
Jeff Dixon to pit road here.
Ryan Pace statistician says in chat, dab. So Ryan Pace statistician very happy about the trends of the race so much that he's dabbing.
This would be a Ryan.
Dabbing and dabbing.
Ryan Pace won a championship here at Kentucky, actually.
That is true.
So he's got some fond memories. I believe everyone else he was competing against fell out or had some internet issues or something.
He might be one of the only people that I know that has fond memories of Kentucky Motor Speedway.
Oh my, poor Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't deserve that, Tommy. You know
Darren
they did
Ingram.
deserve that.
Darren Ingram and Noah Joyce came down with Dixon here, so this will be interesting to see where they all kind of shuffle out. Joyce was
just ahead.
Joyce was almost going a lap down, and I think leaving pit road, he's going to get lapped. That's got to be a heartbreaker for that 3 team, knowing that that's the car they would have to beat, and instead you just got a lap by them.
And you
right
put
now,
it.
Trey Coleman's got command of this race here.
He's going to put them both another lap down. Look at that. Trey Coleman. This 8 team, right? They really should. Oh, Dixon!
But does he save it? He does.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness. That was good.
What were you guys saying? Don't make a mistake.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen him make an issue like that since lap 1 in the very start of this race where he got on the apron a little bit. That 15 team, pretty tense situation right there. Getting back to cold tires and, oh man, I'll tell you what, that could have had some huge implications. A little bit of a rough stretch right there on the back
That's
straightaway.
a teammate.
Trey Coleman.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Hey, you know Miss Molly too?
Yeah.
Huh.
But man, that Trey Coleman coming down pit road now with Jeff Dixon, that almost got a report for the 15 pit box over the radio. Jeff Dixon just saying, "Oh Lord." So I think that's a good waker-upper, I guess, for that 15 car.
If he was falling asleep with how much he's been ahead and maybe how boring things have been, that certainly woke him up right there.
Hey, people always say they want to see the race car drivers struggle with the cars and race the track and drive cars that are hard to drive. That's been an example here tonight. These cars, they may be driving good, but man, oh man, they are wicked evil.
They're driving terrible.
I said they're driving good.
I feel like we do this every week now.
It's
So
okay.
further back here, Darren Ingram getting to the inside of Huang Do, passing him. Garrett Sidner going with him. So Do, who has to pit on old tires, technically was a lap down pre-pit cycle. But my goodness, Jeff Dixon's got like
A whole
lot
corner.
of time. Yeah, he has got a lot of time here on the 23 and 16. But Darren Ingram passed the 16 here, so we'll see what these guys do now that they got some clean track here. But man, right now Jeff Dixon is just putting them on, picking them up and putting them down.
The battle's on for second right now with Ingram and Sidner. We'll keep our eyes on this one here for you folks at home.
About 20 laps to go here, Joe. This race has been, I would say, surprisingly caution-free, despite the number of incidents we have had tonight. Not really any multi-car ones, and that's kept things clean and green. At least green, maybe not clean, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, you are forgetting in there was one caution with the contact where Jeff Dixon sent fan favorite Huang Do around, and I know there's a lot of angry 54 fans still in the grandstands that have those beer cans ready to throw out on the track.
Perhaps juice boxes, knowing the demographic, but...
Oh my goodness, you just did them so dirty.
Oh, man.
Those are our fans too.
We love them. Thanks for watching here tonight so far. leave a like. Let's see if we can get to 20 likes and 600 subs tonight. It's possible. We're close.
It's plausible.
Oh, 598. Someone's heard you.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Keep it coming. Looking around here, though, right now, everyone's kind of staying pretty spread out. Jeff Dixon is coming up on a few cars. Wong
Pretty
Do coming
wide.
up pit road, going to thread the needle middle of the 3 wide here to the inside of the 7. He'll make quick work of Cam Barnes this time, who is on old rubber. Barnes 1 lap down right now because he needs to pit, so he'll probably come down soonish.
Yeah.
But next car for Dixon to lap will be Noah Joyce here in the 6th spot.
Man, oh man, I remember. You guys, were you two in that really eventful Kentucky race where we had a wreck down the back straightaway? There was a car 100 feet in the air. We were all driving underneath it. I can't remember if you guys were in that one. You had to be. It was an ARCA race.
I might have not been.
I think Tommy definitely was.
Cam Barnes coming to pit road from that 7th position, so Barnes will concede another lap here as the 15 goes on by the 3 of Noah Joyce.
But thankfully, to my story, thankfully we haven't seen that
The
tonight.
15 goes on by the 3. I don't know if I said the 3 goes on by the 15. I got it backwards.
Nope, you didn't. You did good.
Oh, okay. My bad.
You know, Joe, I probably wasn't that race, but I'll tell you what, that was one of these crazy races where my 4th gear blew under pacing on a yellow.
That sounds
So
familiar.
I had to run the rest of the race in 3rd gear, and I mean, this was at the height of a championship battle that just had 2 races to go after it. It was a very scary time for me in my championship hopes. Luckily, barely squeaked it out at the end of the season, but man, I mean, that was what I remember most for that race. I think everything else went by the wayside when I had to stress about the fact that I no longer had a 4th gear in that race car.
Ryan Pace correcting, it was the Reddit series. Do you remember the Reddit series? Were you part of that?
I was part of the off-season NR League, which was from Reddit, but it wasn't called the Reddit.
Okay, so never mind. You two wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But hey, I was in a similar situation for your first win at our buddies at Fast Racing League at Las Vegas without 4th gear for the whole race. So,
Boy,
hey.
who could forget that wonderful March night all those years ago?
Still knows the month, still knows the day, most likely knows exactly what he was wearing.
March 18th, I believe. 18 to 13.
What I ate for breakfast.
I know there were nights that were rolled. That's what I do know for sure.
Nothing like your first time, right, Tommy?
Amen.
Looking around right now, Jeff Dixon's going to have some challenge from Huang Do here in a minute. For Do trying to get back down 1 lap down. Huang Do much fresher tires than Dixon, so he's running probably about some of the fastest laps on the track right now, just on those 4 Mr. Feelgoods. Let's see another situation here where I think Dixon could either have to let Do on by, or what does Dixon do here? Because he doesn't want
Let
the
him
54
go.
fighting him for position.
Let him go. You spun him out already tonight. You don't want him to try to get some revenge. I'm just saying, you just let him go.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
a huge lead. There's no point in risking your good finish here tonight that's going to move you on to the next round. Let him
He
go.
also got a feel for that 54 car Huang Do. Really never had a chance to gain back that remaining lap that incurred
Well,
in that incident.
and again, the 54 was one of those guys in that first 10 laps where everyone was spinning. He was spinning. So just
Dixon is waggling all over the track right now.
That
Jeff
is-
Dixon.
wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Boy, he could not afford that right now. A similar situation as to what happened at Richmond, because Noah Joyce just 1 lap down with
wide.
in front of him.
He's gonna let Huang Do on by here.
Hey, Tommy, I think it's that time of night.
Well, it sure is, Joe. This is our TWB 10 to go. On behalf of GardenLightsDirect.com, from porches to patios and more, for all your outdoor lighting needs, visit GardenLightsDirect.com. That's GardenLightsDirect.com. GardenLightsDirect.com for all your outdoor lighting needs. That was your TWB 10 to go. Winding down this race, it's Jeff Dixon in the lead, handedly. Just 4 cars left in the lead lap.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, did not beat on the green flag run at New Hampshire when there was a driver who ended up winning the race, by the way,
Shove it.
who only had 2 cars in the lead lap. I remind you.
I wonder who that guy was.
Oh, gee whiz. I wonder who that was.
Oh my goodness.
Jeff Dixon is just out there right now. Darren Ingram 11 seconds back in the second spot. So really, they're gonna need an act of God here if they want to have any shot at Jeff Dixon, because this 15 car has just been fast early in the run, and boy howdy has he been fast late in the run.
They might get an act of Al Gore, because the internet for Jeff Dixon has been a little wobbly, and reporting in that his quality bar, that's the quality of the connection to the server for him, jittery. That 15 car, tense moments here in the last couple laps.
Now, Tommy, I don't think Al Gore controls the internet.
Oh,
We'll get a fact checker on that, but I don't think he controls the internet.
let's get on that. He certainly had a lot to do with inventing the internet at this point, I think, in 2003, or at least something of the sort.
I believe so. Yes. That was about when he founded MySpace.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna get us back on track here. Jeff Dixon, if we talk about the internet, right? Let's liken this to something in NASCAR, right? It's where a driver, they feel that the engine's about to expire, right? They feel there's a rattling, there's a shaking, but they know they got to push it for 5 more laps, and they're gonna ease it on home. The only thing here is Dixon has no control of that, right? When it's internet, you don't control the internet. I don't control the internet. I mean, ooh.
It's almost like a transponder in the car, and if it's not sending data to the scoring tower, then you're going to have to come back down pit road and put another one in, or try and fix the issue. That's kind of what I think it's most like, because that is something that's out of your control, and it affects your timing and scoring. But again, that 15 car, so far so good, hasn't really been wiggling as much as he was, as we're working towards the end of this race here. A little bit of a scrape against the wall. That 15 car has been pretty clean all night. 12.5 seconds ahead of Darren Ingram to second. He can pretty much just coast from here.
Yeah, he saw the 4 laps to go that time at the line here for Jeff Dixon in the 15.
You see, Dixon's really getting close to that outside wall now. You probably don't want to be doing too much if you got such a lead on Darren Ingram. It's Ingram now in turn 2. Just now in turn 2, mind you. But also he's starting to catch Huang Do here. I think that 54 is the tires are starting to go away in that car, and Dixon's starting to catch back up with him.
3 to go.
15 car in a good position just to ride behind that 54. And also probably just let off a little bit. I think it would be wise to make a little bit of a gap to that 54 in case anything were to go wrong for Huang in front of him, and just try and get to the end of this race, because he's oh so close. He's led almost the entire event, save for a few laps led by Garrett Sidnor. With just 2 to go, Jeff Dixon's lead, I'm telling you what, it's over a baker's dozen.
And we saw earlier on in the race, our only caution was between these two. Dixon was trying to get around the 54. Doe made contact with him, sent him around, caused a caution, lost all his track position. He's rallied back to that 13-second lead here at Kentucky. He comes off of turn 4. He'll see the invisible white flag in the air one final time for Jeff Dixon.
What Jeff Dixon has to do is hit his marks here one last time around this place. No pressure from him at all. Darren Ingram 13 seconds back here, so there's no one challenging Jeff Dixon for this.
We've seen him be dominant before at many different racetracks, many different types of racetracks on the schedule, from the short track at Iowa to 1.5 milers. It would just take a complete race for this 15 team, Joe, to get in victory lane.
Coming off a turn 4 to the line. Contact there with the 54 Doe, but he makes it across. Jeff Dixon wins it at Kentucky.
Well, a little bit interesting of a finish right there. I'm sure that those guys didn't really want to do that at the end, but nonetheless, it didn't really matter. Jeff Dixon still coming away with the victory and advancing himself to the round of 8. It looked like things were going to be tense for that 15 crew for a while on the fringes of that cut line. But for that Chevrolet team, from start to finish, a terrific race.
Yeah, there's nothing better to help with a treacherous point situation is just go out and absolutely run a clinic on the field. And man, that is what Jeff Dixon did tonight.
The congratulations there from Darren Ingram, Garrett Sidner, Antonio Ruiz. Ruiz, a teammate of that 15.
All squishing each other. Look at them squishing.
Hey, you gotta have fun, right?
Have a little fun. Gotta have a little fun. Keep it loose. Keep it loose.
Don't know
Who doesn't
if-
like to keep it loose.
Don't know if officials will really like them putting some damage on that 15, because I'm sure there's a couple things they're going to try to glean from it.
Yeah, he's burning him down.
He's burning them down. Probably going to blow out those quarter panels, too, if I'd have to guess.
Move if I were him.
Hey, slap the roof really hard, too, you know?
Yeah.
Jeff Dixon burning it down here at Kentucky. Win number 3 on the year. Advances himself into the round of 8.
Well, we'll get a couple guys up here for an interview. Jeff Dixon, no microphone for him, so we'll take the guy who finished in 4th will be our first interview of the night, and that's going to be a local, Cal Lovell. See if he can bring him up here. Get the headset on.
Dixon's still burning it down. Now he's done.
And here it is. Always a good show when Cal Lovell is in town. And tonight, in your home state, a 4th place finish, and you have advanced to the next round. Cal, how'd it feel behind the race car tonight?
The car was a force to be reckoned with. Probably one of the worst cars I've driven all season. But I'm happy to have 4th anyways. We got to be better next week.
We saw a lot of guys having problems tonight. Really, throughout the field, a lot of guys not very stable tonight. Now, what was the approach for this 12 team? You know, you missed last week. You know, you were looking okay on points, but you did need a good night. Was it more of a conservative approach or aggressive for the setup?
I was definitely conservative. I mean, I was just trying to keep the car in one piece, and luckily it came home in one piece. So we're just looking forward to the next round.
Talk about racing at your home state track here at Kentucky. I know that's probably got to mean something to you. Is it one of your favorite tracks, or is this a place that you could go without?
No, this track sucks. I can go without
Oh,
it.
wow.
I'm glad it's closing down.
Whole family here at the track, and he says it sucks, Cal. I mean, there's going to be some angry people there after this one up in the stands. I mean,
It's all right. They'll get over it.
are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you didn't drive the truck tonight, so maybe that's why we couldn't get into victory lane, Cal. He had an awesome-looking Ford Performance Racing School livery on it. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I got to thank Dane Asher for painting that. It's mainly his car. I mean, whenever he drives Cup, he usually runs that. So it's a good-looking car. Thanks to him for making it. Yeah. That's all I got.
All right, Cal. Well,
right.
a great finish here tonight, up inside the top 5 with the 4th place run. Before we let you go, the floor is yours. I know you already said screw the family up in the stands, but any other sponsors you'd like to thank?
Not the family, but the track.
Oh, sorry. I thought this track was family for you, because okay.
Nah, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta thank Ford Performance Racing School for being on the car tonight. Once again, thanks to Dane Asher for painting it. And also UPS for being on the C-pillar tonight. You know, they're not getting as much spotlight, but they're going to have to deal with it. So, thanks to those guys.
Are you driving the truck?
Uh,
No comment?
Maybe someday. Not today.
Not today. Cal Laval, driver of the number 12 Ford Performance Racing School Ford Mustang for EV Race. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And good luck in this round of 8.
Yep. Thanks, Joe, Tommy, and Ricky.
Oh, hey, what a fantastic young lad there, Tommy.
Well, he really is. You know, you don't see guys like that too often, but sometimes you do. That's
Yeah.
one of them.
I mean, he really went to the Ricky Collette School of Interviews.
You never interviewed me at all, and you're saying I guess you ask me all the time, and
The
you
joke,
lob softballs at me.
the joke was because you never talked during the interviews, so like we have to really force things out of Cal. But Tommy, who's next on the docket?
Well, looks like we're going to get the 16 of Garrett Sidnor up in here. One of the only guys to lead double-digit laps tonight that wasn't named Jeff Dixon. That 16 car was up front for a little bit, just didn't really have enough to hold off Dixon. It didn't seem like anybody did. But Garrett, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on a third-place finish and the advancement to the round of 8.
Thank you. It was a race tonight for sure.
Sound a little bit out of breath. Why is that?
Cars sucked. I'm not gonna lie. It was like decent on the short runs. It had some speed to it, but it fell off a cliff. It couldn't keep up, and it was just simultaneously tight and loose at the same time. It was a handful, but luckily it brought it home in one piece.
Well, Cal was just in here in the booth, and he said pretty much exactly the same thing. I'm sure that was a common theme throughout the field tonight. But let's take us through a couple weeks ago at Michigan. Looked like you were going to miss the playoffs. Able to get in through Trey Coleman opting out. Take us through the emotions that goes from possibly not even being in the playoffs to now you're in the round of 8, and you're ever closer to getting back into that Final Four as you were last season.
I'm definitely having mixed emotions right now because over the last couple days, I've slowly figured out that I may miss 2 races in the round of 8. So it's a situation I got to monitor for the next couple weeks. But there's a good chance that I might have to back out of my round of 8 spot. So I'll keep the person who's next in line posted. But but yeah, just. Regardless of what happens from here on out, we've had a really up and down season. Really wanted to get a win. I hope we can with the possible 2 races I have left, but we'll see where we go from here.
So some sponsorship woes there with the 16. Oh no, Garrett. Ugh.
I got a full book schedule. I ain't got a plane to get to the 2 races.
So if we can get you a plane, you'll be there.
Yeah, if you can give me a plane to Dover and what's the other racing around?
Watkins Glen? Or Charlotte?
Texas as well.
Yes, that's the other race. So Texas and Dover are the 2 races I'm gonna need a plane to.
Well, we'll get on it. But Garrett, you talked about the car being terrible. Your words, not mine. What made this track so hard? I mean, we saw everyone really struggling tonight, whether it be guys, breaking loose, losing tires. I know tire wear was probably off the charts. What made this track so difficult?
It's just, and I'm gonna compare it to Darlington here. It's just it's got a really fast 1 and 2. You can really hook the bottom if your car's set up for it. But once you get to 3 and 4, you really had to feather it. And watch your entry, because if you obviously a lot of people tonight missed the entry and just spun the car out. And one thing I was battling later on in the race is that upper groove, if you washed up into it, it would suck you or try to suck you around. So I know that a lot of people tonight were definitely getting up in the groove and spinning it out. So surprised we didn't have more yellows than we did, considering how many people did spin. But yeah, that was the difficulty of the track tonight.
Well, from a difficult track to the most difficult task we can ask of a driver, Garrett, congratulations again on the 3rd place finish, advancing yourself into the round of 8, even if you end up having to relinquish that spot due to some scheduling conflicts. But the toughest task is always to thank all the sponsors, the people that get you out here on track. The floor is yours to do so.
I'd like to thank Games 123 Racing and Ray Tussin for bringing a fast car tonight, a car that was able to withstand me and the racetrack. I'd like to thank Crunchyroll for another unique sponsorship on the car for tonight. M&M's, Double Mint, probably missing a bunch more, Dr. Pepper. But I'd like to thank my teammates as well for what they've done so far this season, and that's really who I got to thank right now.
Well, Garrett, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk with us here after this one. Go to the Infield Care Center, get an IV, because we know you guys were absolutely wheeling it tonight. Probably need some fluids. Again, congratulations, 3rd place finish, advancing to the round of 8. Hope to see you the next 3 races. Have a good off week, and good luck as this season trudges on. First year with Games 123, looking just as strong as the last year with EB Racing.
Alrighty, thank you. I'm gonna go get me a water bottle.
Garrett Sidner, driver number 16, Crunchyroll Toyota. You heard it there. I think tonight, Tommy, he compared this track to Darlington, but they always have the Darlington stripe counter. Maybe we should have had a spin counter.
Yeah, just about, Joe. I mean, we talk about that turn 3 and 4 after the reconfiguration being some of the toughest corners to navigate in racing, and stock cars at least. Definitely seems like it tonight. A lot of drivers not too happy with the way their cars felt, but some good finishes regardless. One of those drivers here is going to be Darren Ingram, and we're bringing him into the booth right now. And I'll tell you what, Joe, it seems like we're talking to him just about every week, and that's a good sign going forward into this championship hunt. Darren Ingram, congratulations on your second place finish tonight.
Thank you. It's always a good sign when you're up in the booth after a race.
Yeah, like I said, it seems like every week we're talking to you, and this 23 team just gets better and better every week. Everybody knows the history you have at Homestead from last season in that final race, but you made it to the round of 8. Now you have the task of making it to that championship 4 ahead of you. What's it got to feel like for that IPA team?
It feels great. I felt like we should have been there last year or last season. My stupid mistake kept us out of it. I threw away the win at Charlotte. But this year, I feel like I come to the track with a higher level of confidence, knowing that we're going to have winning contending speed or top 3, top 5 speed. It's just a matter of minimizing mistakes. I drove in over my head a couple times last week at Richmond, paid the price for it. But today, I just tried to chill out and especially knowing that I was advanced, just kind of see what the car would do, take what the car would give me. And I think I fell back to like 9th or 10th there at the start of the race, but just started clicking through, trying to get up through the field and stayed out of trouble and came home with a nice finish.
Is that your biggest takeaway from tonight? Just being able to make adjustments? Sorry, Tommy. This question's been bugging me. You've been locked in now for 2 weeks, right? Was that your biggest takeaway though from tonight? You and your team being able to make really solid adjustments to rebound up into the second place finish position after a tough start to the race?
So that was funny. We did take a different approach, but it's kind of the opposite of what you just said. I'm typically the kind of person that likes that makes a lot of big swings during races, especially if I feel like I don't have enough. Today I made one change on the first pit stop, took out one round of wedge, and that was it. Didn't make a single adjustment the rest of the race, and it was just more about hitting my marks and hitting the line and just staying out of trouble and just picking them up one by one. I typically like to run a really on edge loose setup, especially at these 1.5 miles. And since we're already locked in, I want to take just a little bit of a different approach. Didn't focus so much on speed, but handling, and the car just handled like a dream. I could put the car wherever I wanted. I knew exactly how it was going to react. I didn't really lose handling on the long run. So it was nice to just have that in the back of your brain there, just knowing moving forward another different way that you can attack these races.
Possibly one of the only drivers in the field tonight to say that their car felt good. I'm gonna put Ricky on the spot here to ask you the next question because he hasn't yet this interview session. Ricky, what do you got for him?
Yeah, I guess let me try to think. I guess one thing I would want to ask you there, we saw it a few times where you talk about your car handling well. We saw it a few times later in the runs there, especially near the end of the race where you were running pretty comparable lap times to the leader. Do you think you guys were able to, was there a lot of adjustment going on pit road to kind of get some more speed out of that car? Or did
my
you
goodness.
leave that relatively alone?
Oh my goodness.
Like I said, we didn't make any adjustments because I feel like where the car was lacking, we didn't have the tools to make adjustments there. I think where we missed it with the setup is the gearing. I said it post race. I think we left a good 10th and a half every lap out on the gearing. Played it way too conservatively. I thought the draft would be a lot bigger of an effect, but with the smaller field and then as much attrition as we had, that didn't really come into effect. So you could run it a little more aggressively in fourth gear. We missed it there, and that definitely hurt us. I do think because Jeff and I were running similar base setups, so I think we had every bit as much of speed as he did. And if we had a late race caution, who knows what would have happened? I think we could have maybe made my patented 2-tire call, maybe make that work. But because I was kind of hoping, I was just keeping that just in case. I was running super easy on that last run because I was like, I don't care what happens. If a caution comes out, we're taking 2 because I want this track position and I want to see if I can block him. So that was that. Second place, not too bad. We'll try to be one step higher next time out at Watkins Glen. and we'll just go from there. All about getting in the Final Four now.
Darren, thank you so much for spinning that question that Ricky asked, which was the exact same as the one I had previously asked you, into something very positive. We appreciate that as content creators. I'll work with that on Ricky. He's learning. He's learning. Please excuse his inexperience with interviews.
Hey, he's doing good.
He's doing good. He's doing good. Guys, keep working, though. Not doing great. Doing good, right? There's different levels to it. You did great tonight. He gets better and better every single night. I'm so proud of him. But, Darren, proud of you tonight. Second place finish. Had a great run before we let you go. You know the drill by now, so I'm just going to leave it at that. The floor is yours, buddy.
All right. Yeah, DoorDash, Exalta, the same guys out there every week. You had Discount Tire on. I'm telling you, there's something about this Discount Tire scheme. They hopped on here a few weeks ago. We've got an average finish position of 1.5 in this car, and they're hopped on for next season too. So I'm very excited about that. DoorDash, Exalta, Discount Tire, Factory Cane Shocks, Red Bull Energy Drink. All those guys that let us come out here and have fun every week, and I think we'll be we'll either be in the Hendrick Cars car or a Red Bull car for the Glen. So that'll be fun, and try to go out there and get back to victory lane.
Well, Darren, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us after this one. Congratulations on moving on to the round of 8. I know I've already told you that, but hey, doesn't
get old. It doesn't get old.
Doesn't get old. 2-time winner this year, Darren Ingram, driver the number 23 Discount Tire Chevrolet. Congratulations. Good luck in the round of 8, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Well, Joe, the stage has been set for the round of 8 with Jeff Dixon winning tonight after leading 116 of 134 laps. He's punched his ticket into the next round. That means, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave 2 drivers behind, and those 2 will be the 3 car of Noah Joyce and the 42 of William Page. Some super speedway wins for both drivers got them into the playoffs this year. Unfortunately, they were on the wrong end tonight and just didn't have enough to get themselves into the next round, but a good season for both of them, and a nice send-off for William Page, at least. A strong season to close out his NR 2003 career.
Yeah, 2 drivers that won at the World Center of Racing, but unfortunately for them tonight, we weren't in the World Center of Racing. We were in the middle. We were in the heartland of the country. We were in the middle of the country at the Kentucky Speedway. I guess not the heartland, middle of the country in Kentucky. Ricky, what if you had to sum up tonight's race, because I'm going to old gimmicks, do it in 3 words for Dale.
Oh, man. Jeff Dixon the second.
That was 4.
4. No, that's 3. You don't count the in an acronym.
That's
Jeff Dixon 2.
Ricky,
okay, how about that? Jeff Dixon 2.
That's just 2 strikes already. Speaking of the number 2 tonight.
Man, it's 1 a.m. Man, I just...
It's not even 1 a.m.
Look, I just want to say something about dominance, but I do that every single time. But man, Jeff Dixon just absolutely put a clinic tonight. And you really got to commend that. But just that, and then just sheer chaos behind him all night. It was a wild one. I wasn't expecting that out of Kentucky, but man, it kept us busy.
It kept us busy for sure, Tommy. What a fantastic race. Next time out, we're going to be at Watkins Glen. I know you're going to have a little special something for us. I believe it'll be the return of Tommy's World. Good luck wrangling in those boys next weekend, though, in Charlotte. I know it's you and the TWB folks. You guys have a great weekend planned. All right, great. Confirmation there from Tommy Bordeaux. But folks, thank you so much for tuning in to us here tonight on JTN. Can't thank you enough. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button. Let's try to get to 20 likes. We're 2 away right now from my numbers. Couple subscribers away from 600 as well. It'd be awesome if we got there. Make sure you check out our socials, our Facebook, our Twitter. Got a bunch of great racing coming up this week. Again, next race is going to be Monday night. Excel Racing from the Pocono Race of Champions short track there on the front straightaway. We were there last week with the street stocks. We'll be there with the mods this Monday. Hobo Racing, All-Star Racing, Tuesday, Wednesday, both at Texas. Bomb Squad at Charlotte. And then again, next Saturday night, we'll give you a little break, give you a little off week to prepare for that final month, that final stretch of the championship here in the USORL. For Ricky Collette, for Tommy Bordeaux, for Bristol, our producer, I've been Joe Towanski. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight here on JTN. Can't thank you enough. We'll see you guys next time, of course, live here on JTN. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, folks. Happy birthday, Mom. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be Oh!
And Maverick
Turn one!
What the?
Turn 4 into the tri-oval. Whitehill is through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
All right, and they're wrecking behind him. We got cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down, but it doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Comes Musa. Musa's gonna.
Oh, he's going to use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're going to be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. So Musa gets it.